Thank you, David. And we are all here because essentially in many ways we are lovers of the political process. So welcome to everyone. To Clay and Vi, I'm privileged to be here on your behalf. Welcome to you. Admiration is not a word we hear so much these days. Well, I admire Clay Riddell. Things that I know and understand and have been a big part of my life, he is an exemplar for. From Chevron Resources to an independent consultant to Paramount Resources. A great success story founded on knowledge, drive, focus, and contribution. From IPAC, the Independent Petroleum Association of Canada, to the first president of the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers, all about public policy. Another Manitoba boy does well and is a credit to his country, his province, and his family. He has been recognized by his university, Manitoba. He's been recognized by his profession, the Association of Petroleum Geologists of America, and our country, a member of the Order of Canada. He has supported his industry and profession for years, and through his family foundation is now making change where he sees it appropriate. His entrepreneurial success is a perfect backdrop to seed the first postgraduate training program in political entrepreneurism in Canada. Political science is a theoretical discipline. Public administration is a bureaucratic implementation side of government. Political management is the entrepreneurial side. There is no better example to point students to in this brand new program for Canada to the context of that spirit, that of being an entrepreneur. His interests are wide. He participates in restaurants, horse racing, and is well known as an owner of our beloved Flames. For his leadership in public policy, the Peter Lougheed Award, particularly on this inaugural time, is a fitting recognition. As chairman of the Manning Center for Building Democracy, I am overwhelmed to have been selected by Clay to create with Carleton University this program that we are talking about. Not only is the discipline the first of its kind, political management, at a university, but its cross-partisan nature is also a first, preparing partisan people for participation in the cut and thrust of political debate. I believe that 10 years from now, we will see the emergence of a far better trained group which will greatly improve our collective political discourse. Clay, a personal thank you. You are visionary. This program will prove it. Clay, please come to the podium to accept the award. We'll just put it here on the table for you. Great introduction.
Thank you, Cliff. And I must confess that when David Mitchell called, I was, I'm ashamed to say, unfamiliar with the Public Policy Forum. And I was even more surprised that this forum had selected me for some recognition. Let me start by saying thank you to Peter Lougheed for lending his name to the award. I'm certain that will make it a much more prestigious and honor to receive. And I also congratulate the others here tonight. Martha Piper for her distinguished university career, Ron Hicks for his distinguished work in the civil service, Roger Gibbons for his tireless public policy work at the Canada West Foundation. You probably don't know why I was selected, and it's not on my resume, but at the age of 16, I had a career in the public service. For 3 months at the spring session of the Manitoba Legislature, I was a page boy. I was paid $150 for 3 months of long hours, was allowed to keep the Navy suit, the black tie, and the black shoes I was given. The Liberal Premier was Douglas Campbell, with policies more fiscally conservative than I have witnessed in any government or party since that time. No offense. Duff Roblin was the deputy leader of the Conservative Party at that time. And Eric Willish, a wonderful man, was the Conservative opposition leader. What a great experience for a 16-year-old, not to mention a missing 3 months of grade 12. That was my only experience in public policy until I went into business for myself, founding Paramount Resources in the early 70s, becoming a public company in 1978, just about in time for the National Energy Policy. And it was then I realized how important good public policy was to the private sector. While it seems our industry is continually complaining about government policy, on reflection, the policies that were in place and have been in place through my career, they couldn't have been too bad, as they have allowed our industry, our company, my company, to grow and prosper and bring prosperity to Western Canada and its people. We've also been victim of some very bad policy decisions. To name a few, of course, the National Energy Policy. This may be a personal one. The federal policy, actually the reversal of policy, bringing to the end of the income trusts. And the recent, no offense, Mr. Morton, royalty review that was done in Alberta a couple of years ago, which reduced the industry activity to a trickle for 2 years. What a difference some changes have made. It's quite clear that good public policy is essential for prosperity, and it includes appropriate policies for the private sector. When you look back and reflect, you wonder how incredibly bad policy decisions could have been made. I have spent my share of time lobbying with government for what I believed was appropriate policy for industry, with varying degrees of success. I'm not finished yet. I'm currently lobbying for federal support for the Mackenzie Valley Pipeline. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had fewer bad policy decisions? Which brings me to the graduate program in political management at Carleton University. The program, the first of its kind in Canada, begins in the fall of 2011, and 25 graduate students will attend per year. It is intended to teach political management from an ethical, practical, and cross-partisan perspective to persons who will be occupying positions of political staffers in the offices of elected officials, as well as executive positions with political parties, campaign teams, and advocacy groups. If by improving the knowledge and skills of political practitioners, we increase the quality of public policy and decision-making, the private sector, the public sector, and the people of Canada will all benefit. Maybe we can even get a page boy into the program. I gratefully accept the Peter Lougheed Award and sincerely hope that my efforts and the efforts of everyone here will lead to continued good public policy and decisions and perhaps fewer bad public policy decisions. Thank you.